In this video, you'll learn how to work with levels, how to mark them, and how many you need to mark. And after this video, you'll really understand this topic and be able to make money from it. So get comfortable. Now we'll go through all the entry points, how to mark levels, which ones you shouldn't mark, and, of course, how to monetize them. Get comfortable and let's get into this video. But before we dive into levels, I want to remind you about our Telegram channel. Right now, you can grab ready-made strategies and indicators from there, and, of course, earn together with our community. I'll leave the link to our Telegram channel in the description. Subscribe and, of course, grab the ready-made tools and indicators from there. The link is in the description. Now, let's move on. First of all, how do you even mark a level? You need to understand that a level is a price point where the price has reacted several times. In other words, a level can be at least any price point where the price has touched twice. If we're going to define levels very precisely, then yes, we really do need to mark them very accurately. But if we're just taking approximate price points, then we can clearly see that we have, say, two exact touches, like right here, for example, and also here, and, accordingly, some additional touches where the price also touched but didn't react as strongly. Break time equals 0.5s/so in order to mark a proper and truly reliable level, one that's even inconsistently reliable, the price should touch it at least twice, ideally more. That, in turn, will confirm that it's a valid level. A third touch will confirm the strength of the level. In other words, the first two touches form the level, but we can't enter on a third touch because that would be too risky. If the price moves and touches the level a third time, that's confirmation of the level, and for all subsequent touches, we can enter on the bounce. Yes, when working with levels, we'll be trading on the bounce. Now, let's look at an example of a ready-made strategy for trading with just levels. First, we need to mark the level and figure out where it is. For example, right here we had a pretty good touch, actually, 3 touches. So, for us, this is a confirmed level, but the price has already moved away from here. That's why we keep looking. We go through all the currency pairs, and we need to find that specific touch, that specific level where the price really reacts well and shows itself. We also have strong levels and weak ones. The weak levels are those that are, for example, somewhere below the price or, say, somewhere above the price. This is all pretty straightforward. Here, we need to find at least 2 touches, let's say, a touch here and a touch there. That would be a clear level, but we also have levels that the price touches, on one side at first, more precisely, at a certain point on the chart, first from above, and then it starts touching from below. Accordingly, this would be a flipped level, and it will be much harder, especially for beginners, to determine how the price will behave at it. But just remember the golden rule, the price will always react with a bounce. If the price is above the level, we will enter a buy trade. If the price is below the level, we will enter a sell trade from that level. And accordingly, as you can see, this level was initially a support. It held up the price so it wouldn't fall. Now it has become a resistance level. I've marked it. We had about 4 or 5 touches here. And as a result, I made $460. So, a level is actually a very simple thing that you can use effectively. Let's look at another example. And then I'll show you a life hack with a simple indicator that can help you determine when the price is definitely going to bounce off a level. Look, here's a pretty good example. I can see that here we had multiple touches of the same price level. So, as we can see, we have the first touch, the second touch, then the third one is confirmation, the fourth, fifth, and sixth. Well, we can actually count this one too, since a few points don't really make much of a difference. So if there are a few differences up to this level, we can still count those as touches, just like a breakout by a few points. So we can see that we have about 6 or 7 touches in total, and this price level has been holding all along. That's why, on the next touch, when the price comes up to this level, we immediately open a sell trade. And as promised, we can now add the RSI indicator right away. We'll use it specifically to identify a bounce from the level. By the way, right now the price is in the overbought zone. So the price should make a downward move and, accordingly, drop somewhere lower again. Yeah, as you can see, that move really did happen at the last moment. It's all because all the factors lined up for us. So, once again, if you clearly see that a certain price level, whether you mark it exactly by the precise price value or by several distinct points, the main idea is that the price consistently keeps coming back to the very same value and always reliably reacts to it. So, we simply enter a quick 1-minute bounce trade and make money on it. Break time equals 0.5s/. Please remember this, and let's take a look at a trade using the indicator. Let's see how to actually work with this indicator and make money on levels. Here, I'm opening a currency pair, Euro, Japanese Yen. Now I select the horizontal line and start looking for where we have levels. We have a level here, I mark it, then a lower level that is also present. We can clearly see that this is a level, but let's look at the history to see if there were any touches at this exact price level. Yes, even in the historical data, we can see that both the first and second levels worked out, so we do have confirmations for this level. But since the price has already gone into oversold territory, we can enter from the first level. So, once again, we understand that if the price goes a little above or below the level, we will still count it. Consider it within, well, roughly 5 points. So if the price is 5 points higher or 5 points lower, it will still count as a touch. Accordingly, here we can see that the price is currently entering the lower RSI zone. So from here, we will open by trades. We see that the price is at this level. We have two factors lining up. I'm opening a buy trade. So we understand that the price has gone a bit into oversold territory. Accordingly, we can open a buy trade. As confirmation, we have had many touches at this exact level. We see touches here, here, and further back in the history we also see a lot of touches. That's why it's possible to open a buy trade. By the way, surprisingly, the trade closed at a loss at the last moment, and then the price moved in the right direction. So literally, I was just a couple of seconds short for the trade to close in profit. And the most frustrating part is that the analysis actually worked, but as you can see, I was literally 1 second short. In other words, the market had other plans for me. Now I'll cover this trade, and then we'll sum up the results. Here we see the Australian and Canadian dollar. I'm marking the level right here, but since this is the third touch and the price is overbought, I need to make sure there's confirmation. So, I need to find on the chart that the price has touched this price level. But as we can see, there haven't been any touches on the chart, so we don't have confirmation. And so, accordingly, the price breaks out on the third touch. That's why we skip situations like this. Look, on the New Zealand dollar, dollar on the UTC. Yes, this strategy also works on the UTC market. We can see that the price has reached a rather interesting level. This level was located in the middle of the price range, meaning the price kept reacting to it. We can see this by the large number of touches. So, we understand that this is a fairly strong level that influences the price. Yes, so it's not a level that always gives a bounce, but it does have a strong impact on the price. Plus, we also see that the RSI was a bit overbought. So right here, the buyers overdid it, and we should go lower. I wanted to open a trade from the first level, but the RSI wasn't high enough. But from the second boundary, we're confidently opening a sell trade. By the way, let me remind you again that right now, you can find even more useful information in our Telegram channel via the link in the description. So if you want to make money on currency pairs, if you want ready-made strategies, then go ahead and subscribe to our Telegram channel right now and grab even more useful information from there. As you can see, the levels really do work. The RSI gives us a pretty good confirmation, whether there will be a bounce or not. So if you find a level somewhere in the middle, not right at the very top or bottom of the price, but somewhere in between, then pay attention to the RSI. If it's at the top or bottom, there will definitely be a bounce. From the lower boundary, we open buy trades. From the upper boundary, we open sell trades. And the same goes for the level itself. If the price comes from above, we open buy trades. If the price comes from below, we open sell trades. I hope you remember that. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. You can also leave a comment on this video. Let me know if you like this topic or not. But just a reminder, you'll find all the useful links in the description. There will also be a link to register with a broker, with a welcome bonus of plus 50% to your deposit. In short, I'll leave all the useful links in the description. With that, I'll say goodbye for now. And I'll see you in the next videos. See you soon.